Hey there, it is August 13th, and I was just poking around realtor.com like I like to do in my spare time, and I came across this listing for 75,000 for 40 acres. So that is equal to, my math is not my strong suit. So that comes to 1875 an acre, which is not super great, but reasonable. I didn't want to be on an M road, right? Michigan US 2, because you can't drive out of your property and go to a trail. You're not allowed to drive on M roads in general. Not to say that this town doesn't let you. There are occasions where the area will let you, like for example in Newberry, north of Newberry, you're allowed to ride on M123 to get from Newberry to the trail, which is, it's a very short distance, but you are allowed to do that. So this property is located here, and I don't know how to say the name, Gould City. Now I've been through here a million times. I don't remember seeing a city here. It is smaller. It's off too, so I do remember seeing the Bates Motel because I am a horror movie fan and I love the Bates Hotel um, movie, right? So I always pay attention to that, but I've never been down this road to see the city, so I don't know this exact area. I've just been by on my way to like Manistee or whatever. So this property is in a pretty good location. It is not, not very far from the bridge. I don't know, what is that, maybe half an hour or so. Um, so anyway, so I'm not sure what they have here. And this mouse that I have this week is a Zoom happy. I can't just zoom a little. So it looks like they have a bar, they have a church, post office. I'm not sure about groceries, but there are, I know Engadine, which is down and up, as a grocery right here. And then, yeah, you're not far from St. Agnes and all of that. It shows a gated entrance. And it looks like it's off the road a bit. It looks like they're in looking out. It looks like the road is behind here. And some more pictures, trees, a little shed or something. We'll see if they say something in the description. Or they're far away. And the bad thing about realtors, you really can't zoom in too much. I have been known, if you really want to see something, do you guys have the little scissors, the snipping tool? I don't know if this will show on my screen. There's a snipping tool. If you search snipping tool in your, if you search for snipping tool in your computer, and then you can take a snip of this and save it. I usually save it to my desktop, and I'll save it with a name like delete me or something, because it's just something that I just need for a second. But then if you save it to your desktop and then you open the picture, you can zoom in on your computer, where you can't zoom in here. And then you can sometimes see more detail and see what's going on, like what is that. So I've done that a lot. You just take a snip of it and then save the picture and then go and look at the picture, and then you can zoom in on the picture directly. And then when you're done, you can just delete it. So they have some down trees. They have ferns, my favorite. My property right now has ferns up to my chin in some areas, which is very terrifying when you're walking through. So I'm usually very loud. This is a deer feeder. I did read, I glanced over the description. So they have an automated solar powered deer feeder. So I'm guessing that's what that is. And this is south of M28. So in a previous video I mentioned, in the UP, if you're in the northern UP, you're very limited, if at all. You can't shoot does, you can only shoot bucks. So last year we found this out the hard way. We went to go get, we were researching areas in the, I forget what they call the DNR boundaries sections that they have where you hunt. North of 28 pretty much is the no doe shooting area, which was kind of not great because that's all, of course, that my husband saw when he went out hunting. So if you really want to hunt does or bucks, I would be go south of M28 and check out the DNR website for those zones of the hunting zones so you know what you can hunt where, because every zone is different and just a few miles, and we can't shoot does, so kind of a big deal. It mentioned an outhouse. I don't know if that's it or if that's the side of the shed. Not sure if that's the road in. They did have those really tall trees up by the road. So $75,000 for 40 acres on US 2. It's been listed for 16 days. So we'll read the details. There's quite a bit of detail here. Private turnkey hunting, hiking, snowmobiling, ATV, trail riding, 40+ acre camp, 55 miles west of the bridge, a few hundred feet before Gould City. Road heading west on the south side of US 2. This hunter's paradise is now available for purchase. Behind a red cattle gate lies over 40 acres of breathtaking hardwoods abundant with wildlife. Features a clearing with a seasonal pond, so I'm guessing that's spring seasonal due to snow melt, possibly. Attracts deer, bear, turkey, grouse, coyotes, bobcats, red foxes, rabbits, and hares, and a diverse array of other animals. Five steadily, five sturdily built metal and wood deer blinds are strategically placed throughout. One complemented by solar-powered automatic deer feeder. For comfort and convenience, the land includes a well-constructed steel outhouse and a small shed that has been converted into a retreat perfect for sheltering from an unfavorable weather. Close to Curtis, so you have all the conveniences you may need nearby. Hop, skip, and jump from Lake Millicock. Yeah, I have not heard of that lake. Or about 10 minutes away from Lake Michigan. The pond is located at the southwest boundary with train tracks coming in near the southeast boundary of the property. Retreat to the heart of Michigan's wild beauty, land contract terms offered. So that's cool, land contract. All right. So 1324 square footage on the road, footage. So your typical 40 square. Let's see, shed, outhouse, Engadine schools, Newton Township. It says recreational. So I'm not sure if Newton Township, let's see, Newton Township zoning for recreational. So I'm assuming that if they put recreational, maybe they're pretty sure. So Mackinac County. Let me just try and do a search. Whoops. Got my letters flapped there. Mackinac County, Newton Township zoning ordinance. Let's see if anything comes up. Zoning ordinance regulates its use. Newton Township, Michigan. Let me click on this and see what happens. Newton Township zoning ordinance. Here we go. So here's an agriculture district. Here is MDAD medium, low, medium, residential lake, high density neighborhood, highway service commercial, light industrial, wetlands, construction. Site plan review. Okay. I don't know which. They didn't really have residential lake, medium density, low density, agricultural. They don't have one that says like forest. Church. So if you want to have a golf course, or if you want to have a swimming pool or any of that, you want to read this and make sure you can. If you just want to park a camper and come up for this summer, you definitely want to read this, because some zones allow that, some zones don't. Sometimes they allow it for 30 days a year. You have to get a permit. It's not that you can't do it, but they want to know when you're there. Some zones, they don't care. If you can get in one of the I don't care zones, then you're only really limited to the Michigan building code. So if you build anything over 200 square feet, you have to follow Michigan building code pretty much no matter where you are in Michigan. So then really what you want to do is figure out what zone this property's in, and then come here and look and see what the rules are for it. But you want to find out if you can build a cabin, or if you can have like a hunt trap fish cabin, or if you can have a camper, because this is going to tell you how big it has to be, and all the details. Here's commercial. Yeah, I just don't know. It's got to be one of those agriculture ones. Light industrial. Boy, they have a lot to say. This might not be very off-grid friendly. I don't know. Heavy industrial. And then this wetlands one is great, but we don't want to be in a wetlands. Permitted uses, growing plants, forest preserve. So the other thing you can do is Newton Township zoning map. Do they have a map? Because then you can you can look at the map and maybe tell without calling. There's the ordinance, but I don't see a map. So you probably have to call. And then when you call, you want to give them the parcel number, so at least the realtor put that in there. So if you call Newton Township zoning and say, I have this parcel number I'm looking to buy, can you tell me the exact zoning district that it's in? And then you can come here and you can look at the zoning district, and you can make sure what you want to do with the property is what you want to do. It shows listed by Rick here. I don't know how to say his name. Brokered by Keller Williams Lakeside. So I've been known to search. I'm guessing that's the real estate office. You could try and search that and see if that comes up. Oh, that's not good. Okay, don't do that. Yeah, I don't know. That sure looked like it'd be their website. Premier Real Estate Technology, property search. I'm gonna try and click this one and see what it says. No, okay, nope, not doing that. Never mind. So anyway, you can reach out to the realtor. I'm also gonna check on here. If you do layers, you can go down and turn on the flood. So there's some water over here, depending on where the property line is here. So this looks pretty good for that. All right, I am looking at VV mapping on my desktop computer. This is a separate program you can buy to show ORV and snowmobile maps. Forgive my mouse. I think when I record the screen, it is offset where I'm actually pointing. So 117 goes to the north. It goes through Engadine, and then there's two that goes across the bottom of the UP from the bridge. So as you pass 117, this first town here is the Gould City. I believe that property was right before Gould City, about where that red dot is, and you can see the train track. So maybe the train track is not a great property thing. I don't know. I think it was close to it. I don't think it touched it. But I'm noticing the water there that goes through, and then it looks like there's a lake or something. I don't know if that's the pond that they have that they didn't put pictures in. So I'm not sure where the exact property lines are. And that little red dot, I've not seen that before, but it says cell KNK. I don't know if there's a cell tower there too. To me, that's a bonus. Um, I see there's another one down at the bottom right. I'm not sure what those are, um, but might want to check that out. Check out the railroad track. There's not a lot of train traffic in the UP. There's some. Um, we're near train tracks as well, and it's maybe a couple times a week. It's not anything like, being down in Lansing or something where the trains are just running all the time. So anyway, where this is located, you typically cannot ride on the M road with ORV four-wheelers. Um, Snowmobiles are different. I think snowmobiles you may be able to. I'm not sure. You'd have to ask the locals. But the trail's like right here. So if you can just get like across the street and get to here, you'd be on the trail, right? And then that goes like you can go over to the bridge, you can go all over. So this is snowmobile. So that's really close to snowmobile. Even if you had to like go and park, um, it's pretty close. And yeah. So I'm going to switch to ORV. So ORV, you can ride on the purple, you cannot ride on red. So again, we were looking at, whoops, we were over here. So if you can get across the street and get to this trail right here, again, it's kind of a one-way track for a minute, but as you get to know the area, you can get these purple roads and connect through. Um, ORV trails are not as plentiful as snowmobile trails, but there's quite a good amount of places you can ride. So this property to me is pretty close to trail. If you are friends with your neighbor, maybe you can figure out like what is this dotted. This is probably a logging road or something. Maybe whoever owns this would let you trot over, drive over and go and get on the trail, or maybe the locals would let you. I don't know if there's a gas station. A lot of times if there's a gas station in town, then Michigan DNR will let you go from the trail to the gas station. So maybe that would work out. You'd have to like go over there and look at the property and see what the neighbors are and see if you can tell if people are riding, if trail riding is important to you or not. And then I don't know about these little cell towers, what that's about. There's a website called Cell Mapper. If cell signal is important to you, you can go to Cell Mapper and look up where the towers are. But best case scenario, go to the property and stand there with your phone and look and see how many bars you have, because you can't always tell which direction the cell signal is shooting to. It may look like it's close, but it may be going the whole different direction. So that's important to know too. Let's see here. The other thing I like to look at is, and I don't remember where all this stuff is good, but I look at history, property history, and it tells you how many times it's been listed lately. Like you can tell if they've been trying to sell it for the past 5 years or so. And I don't see anything. So these people have owned it for a while, and I would probably go walk it. If you're going to go for the land contract terms, you probably would want to offer them, I don't know, I've not done land contract, but my opinion, I would think you would want to offer them the full amount and then be more negotiable on like the interest rate, right? Like I'll give you the full amount, but I want you to give me a better interest rate. And then like maybe you could pay them for 5 years and then get a bank loan, or if you need to after 5 years, after you've built up equity with them. That's kind of how I would approach it. But I am not a financial person. I am not a realtor. It's just my opinion, like what I would try and do. I would give them full price and then try and make sure that I'm paying them the least amount of interest possible. And then I would make a plan, like how am I going to pay this off quick? And then they may want it in 5 years paid off or 10 years paid off. So the realtor may know. I don't know how that works when you're buying something through a realtor and then you're doing land contract without the bank involved. Like, I have no idea how that would work. But keep an open mind and definitely do some research on that. But if you're interested, I would get over there and get a look at this, and then make sure they know that you're interested in it or not, and then try and get more details on what terms they'd be looking for the land contract part of it. And probably the more down payment you can give, I would assume the ones I've seen in the past, they probably want like 10 or 20% down. So you'd want to make sure you have, some money to put down on it, which would be 15,000 would be 20% down on this one. So yeah, so that's what I had today. I hope you like that one. I wish I was closer to it. I'd go walk and take a look at it. Um, Looks pretty good. I'm not super crazy about US 2, but it would be nice to be able to be so close to the bridge and be able to get there quick.